we go with this?
Well, we're starting out. We've got a Tinker ban out and a Viper straight away, and they've equally Mineski have removed the Lycan. Now, obviously, that does leave Doom and Brewmaster available, so one of those could potentially get through. And well, we've seen how powerful those two heroes are in varying lineups. The control of a Brewmaster and, well, what can I say? The Doom of Doom.
Yep, absolutely. That leaves still some heroes that should get banned. I mean, there's still a Razor, there's still a Void. Heroes we saw many times. It's pretty interesting that Mushi picks the Viper and the Tinker here, because that's the first, like in all those 4 other challenges. Like we saw a Tinker already being first banned, we saw a Viper, but never both together. There was always other priorities. Like, okay, the Lycan is banned by Mineski, but still, Razor, for example, Void. These are all targets we had before.
Well, it seems like Mushi has done what he wanted to do. He's certainly making Mineski think. They're well into their reserve time here, and, well, I suppose their next ban will dictate the rest of the draft. Do they ban the Void, the Doom, the Brewmaster?
Yep, but look at Mineski, how much time they use. I mean, 30 seconds down. I mean, down to 30 seconds, and, well, they should come up with a decision. There's many more picks and bans to go for. They're already stuck here in the first one. I don't know, I don't feel like that's the craziest decision of all, but it seems that they're letting it tick down. Or do we have a disconnect on the drafter that, of course, might explain it as well?
We could have, but let me check here. No, no one's apparently disconnected yet. There's the Doom ban.
No,
So
it is a Doom.
Yeah, it leaves Razor, and now you've got potentially the Brewmaster and Shadow Shaman counter pickups.
Yep, the Brewmaster might be something, but we could also see a Void Skywrath Mage combination. So far we haven't seen it, and well, I'm looking forward to it. So far we only had Faceless Void, and then on the other side the Skywrath Mage, or always the Skywrath Mage ignored, or this we had earlier actually. The Ancient Apparition was first picked, I think, by Arrow, but they didn't decide for Faceless Void. Mineski does, so that is quite something already. The Blue Bubble plus the Ice Blast, it hurts.
Indeed, it is one of the nastiest combos, just holding them still for the big Ice Blast, but equally now, the flip side of the coin, you've got Witch Doctor picked up for Mushi's lineup. Now, the Witch Doctor, considering he's against the Void, he's going to have to be very careful with his positioning. He needs to be outside of the Chrono to be able to drop the Death Ward and try to force the Void out of his own Chrono. But
Yep.
It's going to be rough either way, because you consider the Void and his ability to leap into any kind of team fight, and so far the setup as well with the Ice Blast. Witch Doctor's going to have to be on his toes in terms of positioning across the board. And going to the second ban phase, we do see the ban out on the Sand King for Team Mushi, which you can completely understand, because Mineski can then just set up with an Epi and then blink him into the middle of the Chrono. And equally the flip side of the coin, we see the Brewmaster ban out for Mineski.
Yep. The Witch Dog is very interesting, actually, picking it into no setup whatsoever yet. I mean, I'm pretty sure there will be something to come. That the Brewmaster is getting banned, that is no surprise whatsoever. It's a surprise he made it that long anyway. But yeah, in the second ban stage, it's out with him. That they ban the Sand King, that is kind of obvious choice. I mean, you don't want to have that epicenter. You already have to deal with the Ice Blast into a Chrono. Like the Witch Dog, you take for yourself, so you don't have to deal with the Death Ward. The epicenter would be just overkill if Mineski would have decided for either or. So let's see. There's one more or two more bans to go, and then we see how this draft is actually unfold here, because we need still a second core on both teams, a second support, and let's see who's anyway going mid. Like, is this a Razor mid already? Do we see played by Mushi? Maybe it's a KYXY one, who knows? We're gonna see that the third and fourth bans, they really decide where this draft is heading to.
Very much true, and we do see a ban out on the Nature's Prophet by Team Mushi. This does leave the Skywrath Mage in for Mineski, because of course they will get the next pick. Now, that gives huge synergy to the Faceless Void with his Chronosphere, sure, but the problem here is, are they throwing too much reliance on the Chronosphere?
Yeah. By the way, our statsman is just telling me like Jacko went 16-1 as a Tinker in like a month ago, so that is sort of a respect ban. Mushi is well aware of what they played together, their results, so that explains the Tinker first ban. I guess we have to see, like, if this game goes, for example, in Mineski's favor, maybe we're gonna see a Tinker again, or maybe Mushi says like, okay, we have to ban other heroes like the Void if the Void is really gonna be successful this game. and maybe they let the Tinker through. I'm curious to see this Jacko Tinker. If it's really supposed to be that successful, then yeah, my eyes and ears are open for this one.
Very much mine as well. I mean, a Tinker played to that higher skill level is always something special to see. As much as I'm pretty sure when we're actually playing, we hate fighting Tinkers, but watching a Tinker is a completely different thing entirely.
Yep, and now we have the third picks, and I was already talking about like what direction is this one going. We have the Lich, that's the second Frosty ultimate we get here, like two guys. For now it's Team Blue on Mineski's side. Okay, Void is purple, but he has the blue bubble, so we call him Team Blue as well. But yeah, Ancient Apparition, Lich and Mirana now as well. This is Arrow into Chrono that is bouncing Chain Frost. This is Ice Blast, Cold Feet proc as well as the Frost Blast. This really hurts. If that Chrono gets many people, that is dangerous for Gigabyte here.
However, for Mushi, they also pick up the Death Prophet and the Train Protector. Now, I like the Death Prophet. The Death Prophet's very effective in terms of bringing down towers, and combined with the Razor, these towers will melt. It'll take about 25 minutes for both of these heroes to come online in respect to Aghanim Scepters, Ewells, maybe BKBs, depending if they think they need it. And then towers will start to just collapse. It's going to be very hard for Mineski to hold the towers later in the game. The flip side of the coin, however, they also picked up the Treant. Now, the Treant gives them unparalleled ability to defend their own towers in terms of the living armor, and it also gives them pretty good setup in terms of their own team fight. And if the Treant can position himself on the edge of a Chrono, he can even stop the Void attacking into Chrono with the Overgrowth, which is going to be the big thing here for Team Mushi.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not a huge fan, I have to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Train Protector. This hero, I don't know, it's not popular at all, and that's the funny part. Always when I see a Dream Protector, I'm like, I'm not sure if that works out. But every time I'm so critical, then the Dream Protector is gonna make a huge game. Like, I've seen some brown boots only Dream Protectors coming out that were so successful with the early rotations that they actually got the farm, then created so much space for the rest of the team that it worked out. I don't know, the living armor on towers, I don't consider it too important anymore. That was before 6.8, before 6.81 it was really amazing, like, oh yeah, we can protect our towers, all we have to do is rotate and protect. But at the moment all teams go more for tower trades instead of anything else, because defense are sometimes kind of a vulnerable stage if you TP in there and there's like an arrow setup already, things like that, or a Faceless Void for example, you can put the Chrono directly into the TPs. So I'm not sure if Team Mushi is going for that, but let's see. We have the last bans coming out. It's a Slark and the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit from Mushi, I guess that's a very legit ban. We saw Mushi playing it 2 or 3 times already alone in this Gigabyte challenge here, and yeah, very successfully. So alone today he played one amazing Ember. Invoker, what do you say about the Invoker, 5th one?
Well, I like the Invoker pickup here. I mean, I don't really need to mention too much about its synergy with the Void. You can drop the Chrono, then EMP inside of the Chrono, Chaos Meteor. You get the idea. There is a lot of synergy here with the Faceless Void's ultimate. It also has synergy with, of course, the Mirana. You can use the Invoker, who will most likely pick up, I should think, a Ewell Scepter at some point. He can help set up for the AA, giving the AA time to go back and then go for maybe earlier Aghanims instead of a Ewells on the AA. It gives them unparalleled ability to move their items around that they would go for as a team across their heroes, as well as unparalleled ability to team fight, which is going to be the scary thing here for Team Mushi. And they honestly need a pickup here, I was going to say, that can get into the middle of these team fights and we get an Axe.
Axe, yeah, here comes the Axe. That's a very interesting pick. Ohio is going to pick up that hero. To be honest about the Invoker, I think he has 2 tasks in this game. Task number 1 is do, of course, damage into the Chrono. That could be, if he's Exort, of course, throw the Meatball in there, doing a ton of damage. We have then Ice Blasts into, like, stun targets by the arrow, or of course Chronosphere. And his second task this game will be interrupting the Witch Dog. Like the Witch Dog, you can only interrupt him at the moment by Chrono, if he's in there, by arrow, or the Invoker. Of course later there might be items, there might be Ewell Scepter, anything like that. But for now, it's just the Invoker, the Faceless Void and the Mirana, but the arrow can be soaked up by something else.
It'll be the Lich's job to break the Death Ward. The ultimate of Lich has many stun.
The Chain Frost could, but I don't think that's a good target, because he will stand far away from that fight. He won't go like in the mid and then just YOLO channel that death ward. He will wait till it's either out, or the Lich is gonna have to decide about priorities. What is he going for? The Chain Frost into, for example, the Chronosphere, or something else that's a just more tasty target. Either way, we have to go and introduce the teams. I'm starting here on the Dire side. Net is gonna play a Dream Protector this time. Ohio, the very interesting Axe pick. Mushi is on the Death Prophet. I haven't seen Mushi on a Death Prophet for quite a while. WTF is on the Witchdog, and well, who did I forget? There we have it. KYXY on the Razor.
On the flip side of that coin, over for Mineski, we have on the Ancient Apparition, play hard. We have stand-in, which was
Jehoven.
Look at my notes. Yes, Jehoven on the Mirana. Over on the Invoker, we've got Jacko. And honestly, if he can do so well with the Tinker, I'm expecting big things of his Invoker as well.
Yep.
Equally, however, we have Jesse Vash on that Lich, and finally, rounding out the lineup for Mineski, we have 5593, which I believe is Oa.
Yep, Ova is playing this Void, and it's gonna be, I guess, a utility Void. Maybe they even go for dual lanes here. I mean, to be honest, in this game, I'm for a solo Void even, just for the fact that he has to get as much and as fast as possible the XP together, because all they need is like one Chronosphere, a target getting it a bit low, maybe giving it 3-4 hits, something like that, everything you can do in the Chrono, and then you have still, like, for example, Cold Feet, you have the Chilling Touch, something like that. You can even rely on that, say, Sunstrike coming out. This is the combo they are looking for, and yes, it looks like it. He's getting at least a solo start here, but he missed one creep while blocking. It's the range creep, but still, should be fine.
However, down in the bottom lane, you've got Ohio, who's going to be looking to pull the creep wave and cause whatever pain he can, especially with the rotation in from Net, and they may get first blood off the back of this. Playhard gets the double cast bounce on him, and one more right click. WTF picks up the first blood.
Yep, that's exactly what I said. A hasted Dream Protector. He's hitting like a goddamn truck. He doesn't have boots, he doesn't have anything, he only has 6 tangos, that's pretty much it. But Ohio here, creep skipping, and there's not much the Mirana can do. She's even getting quite low just by the creeps, and they're gonna continue doing this. I'm pretty sure the Axe is gonna be level 2, which he needs desperately at the moment. Oh, there's the arrow flying. He was looking for Ohio, but no, the Dream Protector there, it should be just fine when he uses the salve soon.
Well, we'll have living armor up soon for Net, and that'll equally go on to the Axe, and then he'll be able to creep skip fine. And you can see Net chasing down Jehoven here, and just forcing him to stay out of experience range, out of any kind of safety as well, since he's forced to tank up all of the creep waves under the tower. And Playhard's rotated in as well. But right now, my question is, how do you stop this? How do you dislodge this creep skip? They need to commit 1 or 2 heroes just to force this Axe and Witch Doctor away, in all honesty.
There's not much you can do. That's the funny part. The Witchdog here with the clarity, just having so much mana with the Voodoo Restoration. Oh god, Mirana. I think he's locked in here.
He's locked in, and he's not going to be able to escape this one, even with a leap, which he does have on cooldown, unfortunately. He's not going to be able to escape, and it's another kill going the way of Team Mushi.
Yep, this aggressive tri-lane here, it's just doing work. Ancient Apparition hasn't been in XP range for a single... Oh, actually, he got 1 creep. He got 1 shared XP from 1 creep. That's it. Everything else, he's been completely zoned out. Then Mirana was pinned down under the tower, couldn't do anything, and eventually they even dove the tower and just got this. So, for now, we have to look at the other lanes if at least there Mineski is doing something. We have 7-1 Invoker versus a 13-3 Death Prophet in the mid, so Mushi's doing there quite a decent job as well. And top, well, it's going okay-ish, but also KYXY is finding CS. He's 10-3 in the Void, is just 8-1, and this is a dual lane. So I think all eyes on the Void, because he's the one who can make this very awkward early game work.
Well, we've got to consider this. When you've got that Void up against a Razor, whenever the Void comes forward to last hit, Razor will static link. And that's going to cause problems, because then KYXY has not only lane control, but control over the heroes in terms of if they try to push him, he'll just hit them with the stolen damage and hit them like an absolute truck.
Oh, but now Mr. Tree, I think he might be a bit out of position. There is no arrow because they just tried to find Mushi in the mid, so he's just hiding in a tree. He's like, yeah, I'm a tree, you don't see me. But yeah, this tower is soon to fall with the next creep wave. Like Ohio is just gonna skip this one. That should be an easy one for him. This is a tier 1 tower, probably down at 4 minutes. And that's bad news. But at the same time, KYXY, oh, there's the Sunstrike. It misses, but they still follow him up. But the problem is the Void. He doesn't have any damage anymore. Now it's all about the right clicks. Can he backtrack this?
Well,
Nope.
not when he turns around and hits Vash instead, and you can see, well, Owa forced away, and this is what I was saying. They focus on KYXY, he steals all of the damage from the Void, and the Void does nothing. You can see he's just forced to run away at this point. And KYXY, dominating performance in this lane so far.
He was desperately trying to get like the bashes up. The bashes, they are not reduced by the damage stolen, for example, and it was really just one bash needed. But oh, look, KYXY just getting that kill, but maybe now the right click, he uses stick, that it's not enough. So Licious get at least the revenge, but not after, of course, KYXY is saying, okay, I got 2 kills, I might as well just die for this.
Well, that is one of the threats with the Razor. You can't even farm safely if you're low health because of Plasma Field, and, well, the stolen damage was still present, and we saw that. But equally now, we look at the bottom line, and WTF rotating in behind the combo of the Mirana and the Ancient Apparition, and now, well, Battle Hunger ticking down, and this is a level 1 Battle Hunger, but the movement speed bonus is still there, and they're just going to be able to chop the Mirana to absolute pieces. Playhard, however, is hiding in the tree line, still level 1, though.
Yeah, he was like, oh, sorry, Mirana, I can't really help you there, but this is perfect play, what they did here. But okay, by XY, maybe that's a bit deep. He's already getting slowed, but yeah, Void this time, he is disjoining that static link because it's just too much. The problem is the Lich, he doesn't have any boots, so KYXY can just go ham on him here.
Yeah, I was honestly expecting KY to turn around and hit that courier, but he'll clean up the Lich, and now he's going to be brawling with the Invoker and with the Faceless Void, and this is not a fight that I think KYXY can take, even with the Eye of the Storm, and he will fall here, but he is well on his way to his mechanism if we take a look at his items. He's already got the headdress, he's starting to build up gold again, and that means the axe is free in terms of his item choice, and he's got 2,100 gold. I was going to say potentially an early mechanism on the axe, but now it means a Blink Dagger, and from there on we're looking for the relentless aggression that an axe can put on the field.
This is just nuts, especially like the living armor there. Like you saw, even the Invoker was rotating in, like even giving Mushi in the mid more time and farm, of course. And I mean, of course they got the KYXY kill, but the price for it is just damn high, and the living armor slowed it down even further. He did quite significant damage on both of the heroes as well. So everything Team Mushi does is just working out at the moment. Look at the healing power, like WTF, level 2 Voodoo Restoration, then living armor on top of Axe here. If everything's activated, maybe even a Tango, he's having somewhat of like 30 HPS or something. That is on level 5, I don't know, something I barely see unless you put cheats on and give them a Heart of Tarrasque in the inventory.
Well, I'll say this much. I've seen the creep skipping lineup before in a few programs, but I've never seen it with this variant of support heroes. And if you think about it, the Living Armor and the Voodoo Restoration are perfect for this axe. I mean, the only other variant is with the Dazzle. But in the meantime, you can see Mushi and the rest of his team are starting to exert the pressure that they've gained. They're going to be able to get this tier 1 here, and well, Ohio thinking of just going forward and skipping the creep wave, but honestly, if anyone comes to defend this, they're going to get caught out of position. Behind in the far back, you have Net, who's ready to come in. Doesn't have overgrowth, but it's not needed. He's going to have Leech Seed, but does he really need to move at this point? Ohio does everything.
Net is not coming in, but in the end, they get the KYXY kill top here, while they get the tier 1 in the mid. Faceless Void got huge damage there. He has no regeneration whatsoever. There is no salve on any of his supports, but still, like Mushi's team here, they're rushing for the towers for the creep skipping power they have, and yeah, you saw it on Ohio. I was really wondering why Net didn't come in. I thought after Mirana leap level 1, that is only level 1, I thought maybe with the Leech Seed and then following up, that might have been something, but they were like, nah guys, we want to get that tower and then get the hell out of here, that's all we want. And yeah, this was also first Exorcism we saw this game, and easy tower.
Indeed, and if they can keep getting towers like that, it's going to put Mineski on the clock. If they can bring down all of the outer towers before the 25-minute mark, it's going to be very difficult here for Mineski to fight back. And I say the 25-minute mark because that's the general time frame when we start to see those bigger tier 2, tier 3 items come online. Specifically, the Aghanims potentially for the Razor after the mechanism. For the Death Prophet, Yules or BKB, something to help her tank up after she's got that mana regeneration. Just something along that line.
Yep, and it seems like they want to go systematically. I mean, sure, you got 2 tier 1 towers down, like one by the aggressive tri-line with the creep skip, then in the mid the Exorcism was used for it, and the Exorcism has 10 seconds cooldown, and they're already heading top. At the moment it is only the tree and WTF supporting Mushi here, but I think that might be enough. Oh, there's a chrono!
And off the back of that chrono, just Mushi's going to be the focus here. Chain Frost bouncing as well, and this is the perfect team fight that they were looking for, but they need the right bounces. Mushi surviving with just enough HP with the living armor, and he might be able to escape this one. Do we have another time leap? No, we don't, not for 2 seconds. And he will actually get the hell out of dodge, but in the meantime, stand-in just gets chopped with the with the cull, and now you've got the turnaround looking for 5593. I'm forgetting names right now, but Ohio will be able to bring him down with a double kill, 2 culling blades, and now they're going to look for the tier 1, and we'll point out that most important thing of this fight, Mushi survived.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, pro average time is 12 minutes, and well, Ohio is the 3rd fastest blink decker in professional Dota with this 5 minutes and 20 seconds. This is some amazing stats there. Like, yep. And while we just looked at those stats, the 3rd tier 1 tower is to fall. And to be honest about this fight, I feel kind of bad at the moment for Mineski, because Mushi kill was nicely set up, but this living armor coming out, he survived with, I don't know, below 10 HP. And sometimes RNG and a bit luck is also part of winning. And now they do exactly what you should do if you have a Death Prophet. If you are on the winning side, you're snowballing a bit, you just use every single cooldown. First Exorcism, mid tower, second one, top tower, and now we see Roshan.
However, it is scouted out with the Sunstrike, so we could see potential rotation on this, especially with the Ice Blast coming in. Will this be enough to get any kills? I don't think it'll get a kill on Mushi, but it's certainly going to possibly force them back from the pit. But
I hope he's not going to get heals off his ghosts here. Well, actually, no. The
Jehovah hits the arrow. Could we see the initiation here? We do have 2 points in Starstone, but we need more than just this Mirana. Do we have Chain Frost? Not for 40 seconds. I don't think they're going to be able to defend Roshan at this point. They might take a gander at it, but with Jehovah in Invis, oh, he's revealed. He doesn't realize it, and now in comes the taunt from Ohio. It misses, but it does not matter. The dunk is there, and Ohio dominating on that axe.
Yeah, this Ohio is on fire, and this, without the Mirana, I don't think they can contest. Like, it's another Ice Blast flying in, but they're all full HP, so they won't be too impressed. Only 3 people are actually getting hit by that Ice Blast. But, oh, Sunstrike. Oh, where's the chrono?
I don't think they've got a chrono. They have it last second, but the Death Ward's already done its work. It's killed the Void, and now we've got the potential turnaround here from Team Mushi, and they should be able to just hunt down and kill anyone that remains. But you can see the lineup from Mineski are all rotating back, and one thing that concerns me here, they spent so much time trying to mess with Team Mushi in the Roche pit. That was time where they could have been farming, time where they could have been pushing towers.
But let's summarize this though, what happened here, because Mushi is actually the one who snatched the Aegis, so the kill went on Mineski's side, the Void got the last hit there, but the fun part is Ohio saved the day there, because if that chrono came out just a second earlier, he would have gotten Roshan and the Aegis, but Ohio taunted the axe, and this is also a level 3 Berserker's Call, and therefore he only got the Roshan, but unfortunately the H is still on Mushi, so it's overall still a win.
Well, okay, with the stolen money it can at least help out Mineski. But if we look at the gold graph, it's still a 10,000 lead. That 1,000 they got from Roshan was just a drop in the lake, basically.
Yep, absolutely. It's a drop that is very insignificant, and you said it right. Like they put a lot of effort in contesting there, losing the Mirana, losing the Void, and all that just for a snatched Roshan, and the H is then still going to Mushi. That is bad news. The 4th tower is going down, and you already said it. Goldcraft. We are on 10k. The Roshan will be okay, something that might slow this craft down, but with the tower gold of the tier 2 now, this craft will just progress in one direction. Experience-wise, well, since they stick together all the time, it's not that crazy of a lead. I mean, 3k, but still, like with this gold, they just have all the items. I mean, look at Mushi, Yule's Scepter done, Face Boots done, like now he has Bottle with double damage, Exorcism is not ready for this tower, but still, they just pressure it.
They have that ability to, and if we consider what they do have experience-wise, sure, they're grouping as 5, but Mineski have even a Midas on their Invoker, and they're losing in terms of experience. That's because of these 10 kills. That's because of the Roshan and the towers being pushed, and just having map control. General map control is the big difference here.
And you see it also on the stats. Exactly what I said. Like, it really felt fast, but here we have the number. 17 is the average timer on a Yules, and Mushi managed it in 11.
Now we've got Ohio jumping in with a taunt, and they're going to bring down Jacko pretty much immediately. Another cull. Unstoppable for Ohio. Where does he go from here? He just gets bigger and bigger. And Mushi will eat the full Ice Blast, but he should be safe. I don't see him falling in this one. And the siege on this tier 2 is continuing. And now you got KYXY. He does have his mech here as well. And
you know what's the most dangerous part about the Axe, who is like spiraling out of control? Like, he's rushing Aghanim Scepter, and he is 900, 800 gold now away from this with this tower, even a bit less, only 500 gold. The crazy part about it is you have a level 8 Axe, like he's not even having the level 2 Culling Plate, but with the Aghanim Scepter, the threshold on everything, like you pretty much just need to twinkle on the enemy, and then you can already like use your Culling Plate and just dunk them to death. That's the crazy part about a Aghanim Scepter. So if he's level 11, then he can just dunk all the way through.
Well, in comes the Chronosphere and the Ice Blast to combo up with the Chain Frost. They will bring down the Razor pretty much immediately, but I don't think they're going to get anything else off the back of this one. They're looking to try to get some damage on Mushi, but the Chain Frost just not agreeing, and they'll prefer the creeps.
Yep. I mean, at least they get the KYXY kill and lose nothing for it. For now they hold the high ground, but you see, we are 14 minutes into the game and Mushi is like, okay guys, we got everything we need. We got a new access system, we got our Aegis, so we might as well just go high ground. But Mineski did the right thing. They focused on the target without the Aegis, and yeah, they just put them away, at least for some time. And I think this Aegis is gonna run out unless Team Mushi makes here the decision to go right away. Let's go for high ground again, just because we can. But I actually think they might go for the tier 2 top. That is the next logical target, at least.
They're systematically destroying every single building, and honestly, it's the right decision. What do you do when you're ahead? You get more ahead, and they're doing that with these towers, with the pressure they're putting on the map. Sure, they killed the Razor. So what? It's a Razor. It doesn't have an Aghanims, and sure, it's extra gold in your pocket for getting the kill. It doesn't matter. Death Prophet will still push. They got a Death Ward and an Overgrowth ready to go in the back line, and that's before you address the initiation problem that they have, considering Axe, if anyone comes forward, will blink on, taunt, and then cull them.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, at the moment, like, at least Ova is trying to find some farm on the Void here, but with this tower we have the Aghanim Scepter finished on Axe, and the second he just got that money, he instantly fast by, and they might as well just go for high ground. 10 seconds on the exorcism. Oh, but Ova just jumping in.
Gonna go straight onto Ohio, but he does eat a Marana arrow. That's a good 3-second stun, and in comes an Ice Blast as well. But is Ohio going to be able to survive this one? The Starfall hits as well, and he might shatter here.
Yep.
We'll have to keep a tag on him to see if he does, but in the meantime, you got the Razor and Mushi on the Death Prophet starting to siege the main tier 3 tower. In the backlines, however, the Axe did survive this one.
Yeah, really close. He survived with 130 HP. Mushi also being really low, but living armor and Buddha restoration on level 3. Like, it's just crazy if you look at his HPS. It's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And they just keep on going. The Ghost, they will come back pretty much soon. Oh, no, he's giving away his Aegis for this. At the same time, we have to face this Void, getting at least something for Mineski here. The first tier 1 tower for them in their pocket. So that's at least good news for them, but that all was only for Aegis and for half of, yeah, tier 3 tower.
All players that managed to do so had a 100% win rate. Okay, that's an interesting stat, considering I tend to overlook the Ags on the Axe, just in favour of maybe something that'll give you more in terms of capacity. Hell, even an Atos is something that sometimes comes to my mind when you think of Axe. But
yep. But he's looking for that leash. Like, if I know Ohio right, he will jump with the next creep wave. Oh, he doesn't even
not
wait.
Even with the creep wave, he doesn't need to wait. He has the damage, especially with the cull. The Aghanims gives him such a differential in terms of the kill threshold of cull.
Yeah, 2 hits, 1 spin, spin to win, and then dunk.
In the meantime, they do find themselves a faceless Void, but in comes an Ice Blast to follow up, as well as the Death Ward. Are they going to be able to bring down the Void? I'm not sure. He'll miss the cull, but it's only got a 5-second cooldown. In the meantime, though, Sunstrike going to drop. They're going to go for net, and with one more right click, the faceless Void will clean that one up. But a second cull cleans that up, and a monster kill for Ohio, and now they're going to go for more. They're going to get a taunt onto the Invoker and the Mirana. That's going to be a double cull, surely. Oh, everyone force-stuffing away, trying to get the hell out of dodge, but Deafening Blast will hold back that Axe for a few seconds longer. Axe starting to get fairly low, I will say. And are they going to get the call off in time? Yes, they damn well are. Double kill, godlike spree for Ohio.
I can't even believe it. Like, he needed one more right click, the Invoker there. He did a good job with the Deafening Blast, just, you know, getting the Axe away. Because you were right. By the time you said, oh my god, this is a double dunk, like, he just did the right thing. Mini stun and then, of course, the Deafening Blast. And that was the only reason they didn't, or he didn't get a double kill there right away. In the end, the Invoker doing a good job, but the Axe just too fat. And of course, next to him there stood a Witch Dog with Voodoo Restoration, which was exactly the HP over time that was missing there.
Well, I did say we'd potentially be looking for an Aghanims on the Razor. It seems we're not in this game. We're going to be going for the BKB instead, and they're just going to rely on the pushing power of the Death Prophet for the meantime and not look for either Storm on the Towers.
Yeah.
Which is another choice that in this game makes a lot of sense. I mean, the BKB, it'll pretty much render the Invoker, well, impotent, for lack of a better word.
Let's say useless. Impotent sounds so Viagra. Either way, we have to look at the crafts again. We're almost 10 minutes after we showed them the first time, and now, well, the experience is pretty much stagnant on the same level. Like with that KYXY kill and those fights, Gigabyte like even lost a bit, but the gold craft is the most interesting one here in this game, and there we are, 14k, and that is at 19 minutes. That is just nuts. I mean, 30, like, I'm not a huge stats fan, as in because I don't have time to go through the stats, but like when a team has like above 20k before 30-minute mark or at the 30-minute mark, then their chances to win are like somewhere in the 90s, like 98%, something like that. Now we are already looking at the gold craft, 14k, and it's just the 20th minute, so all they have to do is like another 5k, which could be the next fight, anything like that, or if the craft just continues with the farm. But still, Mineski, they still have their base. And let's see. With the chrono, you never know. Sometimes team fights just take another turn.
But it's not just chrono. Chain Frost, Ice Blast, and then all of the Invoker's damage. It's a staggeringly large amount of damage potential that can combo very well with the Chronosphere.
But the BKB could ruin it. And talking about BKB, look at the Death Prophet, what he got. After the Yules, right away, a rush into the BKB. So that is one hero less that fears all this magical damage incoming.
And generally, I did say the minute mark that you will generally see this kind of item advantage is around the 25-minute. The level of gold that the Team Mushi have gained in this one, they don't even need to wait for the full 25 minutes. They've got so much farm. It's a 20-minute, 2 tier 2 items. It's ridiculous.
Yep, and Team Mushi is already impatient. They want to go high ground. I can feel it. They were looking for Roshan. Now they sent the courier over there. Yeah, they leave the courier there. If they knew, it's just some seconds left, but I think they decide to go without Aegis.
I don't think they need the Aegis, in all honesty. They've got all of their ultimates online, and if they have the positioning on the Witch Doctor so he can stand at the back and out of the Chronosphere, if the Chrono is dropped, they'll just throw the Paralyzing Cuts, and that'll stun the Void.
But did you see my statsman just pretty much supported what I said? Like, teams that have this gold lead in 20 minutes, they have a 99% chance to win. But let's see. I'm still hoping. As I said, Dota is not all about this, because there's a chrono only hitting on one. Let's see.
But in comes the combination with the Ice Blast and the Chaos Meteor. There's so much damage being thrown. The Death Prophet will fall immediately, but in comes the Overgrowth. The Chain Frost still bouncing around though, but one cull, two culls, Ohio on a double. Now you got KYXY chasing down Jacko, but they are in Moonlight Shadow. This will buy them some time, but KYXY, he'll be safe, especially with that living armor. And now we get potentially the siege on the tier 3 racks in the mid lane.
Yep, they can keep going here because Ice Blast faded. They have Voodoo Restoration. They have the living armor. It's a 2-for-1 trade, so in the end, it's, I wouldn't even say, hey, this is not too bad for Mineski, but at the same time, they lost the tier 3 tower, so it is a 2-for-1 plus tower, plus they will go for Roshan now. If Mushi comes back, they still have here, of course, the tier 1 tower, completely untouched, also healed, of course, by the living armor, and they just go for Roshan, which is back. There is an Ice Blast scouting it, but unfortunately, 2 seconds later, there will be an entire team there, and Mushi is just a matter of time. He's not even TPing. He says like, okay guys, we're gonna save this 135 gold because I just come there and walk. But Mineski, they want to contest, smoked up, and this is gonna be a huge fight. Maybe even the game deciding fight.
They don't have any ultimates though. This is the big problem. They don't have Chronosphere available either for 27 seconds, whereas Overgrowth is now back online for the lineup of Mushi. And they'll hit the arrow on Ohio, but where can they go from this? In comes the BKB. Mushi gets the silence off on the Void. In the meantime, do we see an Exorcism coming up anytime soon? No, we don't. Not for a good amount of time. Ice Blast will fly through, but now you've got a Death Ward chopping everyone to pieces and play hard, forced out of the fight. Sunstroke's going to drop. Ohio will be the target, and KYXY picks up a double. Just the damage being traded, and Mineski taking the losing fight here, unfortunately. And sure, Team Mushi lose an axe, but they gain 3 and a Roshan.
It's a 1-3 trade plus a Roshan, and exactly what I said in the draft happened. Like, where's the interrupt on the Witch Dog? They pumped everything out. Like, there was no Chain Frost. The arrow was on Ohio, which was good because that's the main reason he was even that low. But there was just nothing left for the Witch Dog. That just nothing left. The Invoker was the only target on the pitch that could have done something, but he was chased by KYXY with a static link up, and of course the Dream Protector like just following you and just clubbing him down with the high base damage. I mean 117, he's level 9, still hitting like a truck on an Invoker who doesn't have much to offer as an HP because he was already low at that point, and KYXY was still leeching damage like a happy little fella.
Well, we will point this out with the Witch Doctor. He did just get himself an Aghanim Scepter as well. So that Death Ward, it was lethal before. It's going to be absolute carnage now.
Yes, this Death Ward, like if they're staggered somehow, if they're somehow clumped up, then this ward is just going ham. And the funny part is, like, all this ward has to do is bring certain heroes below, and then all Ohio has to do is just dunk his way. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Rampage Ohio here, but then again, they don't, you know, they don't make any half things. They always want to get the kills, even the kill shots. So let's see if Ohio actually managed to make something happen here.
They're going to go straight for the chrono. It doesn't catch a Mushi though, and he's standing just outside, but the Death Ward ticking up to pieces and gets good damage across all the heroes, but no one goes down yet on the side of Mineski. In the meantime, however, a Razor and an Axe have been lost in trade so far for an Ancient Apparition, but now you get the charge out. Are they going to be able to bring down Mushi? Mushi does have that Aegis, remember, and in comes the Overgrowth off the back of Net. Now we get the Void coming back in, starting to do some good right-click damage, but Mushi is just doing far too much with that Exorcism. Can they finish off that Void though? That's the big question. Yes, they damn well can. And now it's only going to be the Lich and the Mirana still standing, and they're not going to be able to defend this. This is surely Rax.
Yeah, this is Rax. The healing is just enormously high. It's absolutely amazing to see that. Dream Protector, like, he survived all this aggression. Everything was just hitting that damn tree, but he was not falling anywhere. But oh, now he eats an arrow. There's an Ice Blast on him, but there's still living armor from before on him, so not
Plus you'll have to go through
the
entire team to get to Net, and I don't think that's an investment you want to do.
Nope. It is not. That is, the healing is just amazing. That's why I like this. 4 points Voodoo Restoration. The Witch Dog having enough mana pool as such. They have enough sustain. I mean, they have double arcanes. That keeps them all the time in there with the mana. Mushi has enough sustain on him for himself. The only one who is like fairly okay-ish farmed only is KYXY, because he was that solo farmer, died, and he got taken out before. So, but still, he does his job. He puts up his ultimate. Like, the Ganaps is not done on him yet, but still, he has the BKB. He uses the Mac for the team always before he dies, and that's pretty much his job. From there on, the rest of the team can just pick the rest.
But we are seeing the Aghanims come up slowly onto KYXY, which will give them capacity.
Oh, look at this
in the
Chrono.
meantime, Chrono
Only
goes
on
onto
Ohio.
Doing some good damage into Ohio, but look how much time it takes to kill the Axe. And now we got the rest of the team here. Death Ward was deployed, and they didn't get anything for the Death Ward, but equally, can they find the Faceless Void? He's going to time leap over the trees, go into the tree line. Does he have a TP? Yes, he damn well does. He's going to be a very hard one to catch, and he's going to get the hell out of dodge, TPing back to base.
Yeah.
However, what they acquired there was the Axe, and they got time. It forced Team Mushi away from the racks in Tier 3 for a little while.
I'm not so sure, because at the moment it looks like Team Mushi, they say like, oh, we don't need Ohio, look at this, Exorcism being popped, Kiilstofte coming out, the silence will follow in just a second, but this one is missing, but still, they have everything they need. Of course, unfortunately, no Aghanim Scepter, so that's bad news. Oh, Ice Blast, a Stun Strike.
But now with the BKB, they're going to look for the Lich. Jesse Bash going to be forced right out of the fight straight away, and now you've got 5593 going to come in, try to get some right clicks on the Void, but doesn't manage to get anything so far, and he's silenced out for a few seconds. 40 seconds on the chrono as well, so are they going to be able to hold the Tier 3? I feel that they will have very big problems in holding that, and they might be able to defend the racks, but it's only a matter of time here before we have the rest of rest of Team Mushi turn around and look to pressure in once more. They're going to wait for the next Exorcism, surely, and that's only 70 seconds away.
That's absolutely right. Like, they use the Exorcism very efficiently at the moment. They just go each and every cooldown. Even right now, like Gigabyte, that shows their lead. They decided, okay, Ohio is down. We don't need you, you know, it's all good, Axe, stay in the fountain, we have this for you. So they go 4 versus 5. I mean, it's not a crazy fight, nobody even went down, but they got the Tier 3 tower. What more can you ask? Like, this is, like, if they go on with this pace, 3 more Exorcisms and there's nothing left of Mineski space. They can defend as much as they want, but they need the chrono to get something done, and next time Gigabyte is returning as more than this.
Net tries to go aggressive, trying to catch 5593. I believe that's Oa, yeah?
Over, yeah.
Yeah, they try to catch her out of position, but time leap, too quick on the reactions, and he's going to be well enough away.
Yep, but they want to keep on going. Like, Exorcism, 15 seconds. So Mineski, they can already prepare. And this is, at least for these racks, the most important fight. Because, like, this chrono, the chrono has to be perfect.
Indeed, it has to be absolutely perfect, but they also need the rest of the team to be able to back them up with their ultimates equally. And we can just see how aggressive Mushi's being. He's just coming in. He's being a damage sponge. He's going to be front line. And look what his team are doing. They're working on racks. And Ohio can blink in at any time. In comes the Void, gets the chrono. It's only on one though. Ice Blast going to fly through as well, but Mushi just chewing apart on the back lines with that Exorcism, doing good damage, and the Death Ward's down as well. Just so much damage being commit by Mushi, and they get 2-for-1 trade so far. They lost the Razor, sure, but as we mentioned earlier, the Razor in the grand scheme of things is nothing in this team fight, and Play Hard will be brought down in the well by Mushi, and just all of the damage in the world and everything going right for Team Mushi at this point. They're even going to get their full set of bottom lane racks. And that's two sets of racks disadvantage now for Mineski. Can they hold it from this point on, do you reckon?
The problem is the chronos are just not coming. Like, too fast reaction. Ohio just blinked out before the chrono came out. Like, Mushi was playing so aggressively because he had the Aegis. Now the Aegis is actually reclaimed by Roshan, but, well, it's exactly as we said, another Exorcism, another set of racks down, and Ohio, he was, I don't know what he was doing there, but faking both casts, the call as well as say it here, the Battle Hunker, and, well, he's just going back. But 2 racks down for Mineski. They're still holding on 30 minutes into the game. They make it not too easy, of course, for Team Mushi, but still, like, they can't really do anything against the ultimates unless they find an awesome chrono. This chrono has to come. The magical chrono.
You want to see the big, perfect chrono, then?
Yeah, at least they have to, like, for the next fight, unless there are 3 people in the chrono, the fight is just not winnable at the moment for Mineski, like, by gold, by experience. But the problem is Team Mushi is just too spread out. This Void is just at the moment not finding what he needs to. That's like, I don't know, we could probably replace this Lish by a Dark Seer. That would have been more useful. Maybe there's a chance to somehow get awesome Vacuum, for example, together. At the moment, even the Chain Frost is not doing anything. It just tickles. It pretty much tickles. The last one was a level 2. So it did a bit more damage, but of course it also has limited bounces, and
but you can see just how much the Lich has been punished here. He only just finished the mechanism. That's a 30-minute mech. That's fairly unpleasant, and you consider the mech's healing, it's starting to fall off in terms of effectiveness, at least considering the burst damage of Team Mushi. And now we've got the Force up onto the high ground, going to sheep Mushi. They're going to try to bring him down very quickly, but in comes the BKB, and now he's going to turn around doing some good damage. But equally, do we have anything else happening in this one? No, it's just going to be a let's force Mushi in. He's forced his BKB. Could they re-engage with the chrono? Certainly they could, but they have no other ultimates to back it up. Going to drop the chrono. It's only on Mushi. The tier 3's down, however, but in comes Ohio on the backlines. Catches a big taunt, and the Death Ward now deployed as well, doing good damage across the board. But equally, all of Mineski are just starting to evaporate. They've lost the Lich, the AA, the Invoker. Triple kill for KYXY, and GG well played is called for game number 1.
Yep, this was inevitable. Like, you even saw poor over there. Like, I mean, he again one chrono, but only Mushi in there. And like, that funny part was, it was only him and a ton of ghosts, and those ghosts that were too scary for the Void. A Void with the Mask of Madness activated, getting a ton of damage. All these ghosts, they brought him from, I don't know, from 100% down to almost death in, I don't know, a split second there, a second or two. That's when he ran out of it. Either way, it's a best of 3 series, so Mineski was fighting really till the last racks, but it was not enough. 31 minutes it took till Team Mushi is victorious here. Either way, game number 2 will come up in just a second. My name is HeflaTV, casting here with Blackadder on HeflaTV. So follow our English channels here, HeflaTV 1 and HeflaTV 2, as well as HeflaMog. Or if you speak Chinese, then you can also follow HeflaTV 5 and 6. I think they cast as well now the MSI Dragon Battle. And of course on HeflaTV 6 you see the same thing we do here, just in Chinese. Either way, game 2 will be up in just a second.